ISO 8 video. This is just going to kind of go into some things that I have kind of learned over the last week that ISO 8 has been out. Just kind of playing around with it a little bit. Um, just kind of how I'm managing my resources, what I'm doing with my ISO 8 energy, so on and so forth. Need to spend some daily energy today and all that fun stuff, but have not gotten quite around to it yet, just kind of starting things out. Shortly after this video, I'll also be doing a little update on where my account is currently and just kind of where I am in my goals. So with all that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into things. And so ISO 8 got released just a little bit over, just about a week ago. It's been in the game now for quite some time. There are a number of guides, spreadsheets, infographics. I mean, you kind of name it, it's out there. So feel free to look at that. I still highly encourage people to just kind of play around with the system and just kind of start to learn it. It's a really fun, I think, aspect of the game. A lot of people were kind of worried about it, that it was going to kind of break the game, and I mean, I honestly have been enjoying it, and just kind of the theory crafting that kind of goes into it. So as I said in my previous video, my initial kind of mindset with this was to get my arena team, my raid team, and my Dark Dimension 1 team to at least tier level 1. And in kind of playing with the system, I mean, tier level 1 does not add all that much to the actual class itself. Basically, you just kind of get the basic version of ISO 8. So you kind of unlock the mechanics of applying vulnerable, and then with those vulnerables, you have a striker on your team, and they get bonus attacks. Healers heal for a little bit more, or develop a healing mechanic. Fortifier at the lower levels, really, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, you do get that 10,000 barrier, but once you start getting up to the higher levels, 10,000 barrier isn't too much. But as Fortifier does get higher up, especially around ISO level 3, where you actually get 3% barrier per turn, certainly makes it a little bit more substantial and kind of more of a presence to be, a force to be reckoned with kind of thing. So with that being said, I would certainly highly recommend, you at least taking teams to level 1 just to kind of get the basic understandings of how ISO 8 works and how all the mechanics kind of play together. Once you do have that kind of figured out, you can kind of start spending your energy. And with the ISO 8 matrix milestone that's going on right now, it's definitely giving you a lot of these level 3 isotopes, which will help take your character to ISO 8 level 3. And that really kind of is a nice medium point, and it really kind of starts. You really start to see the full features of ISO 8. So, with that being said, kind of characters that or teams that I'm recommending to take to at least ISO level 3. Again, if you want to see better results in Arena, you can certainly take your Arena team. Your raid team is going to be another primary candidate for that, and then your Dark Dimension 1 team, and then just any teams you plan on really immediately working on in the future. So, with the symbiotes kind of really coming to the game, and I enjoy the symbiotes on my main account, so I've already taken Venom and Carnage both to ISO level 3, and the ISO 8 is kind of fun at level 1, but you really kind of start to see things start to develop at level 3. Now, with that being said, the ions that we, basically got at the beginning, it really seemed like it was going to be kind of this abundant resource. And in leveling multiple characters to level 3, I'm finding that the ions are not as abundant as originally speculated. And with that being said, now that I am starting to take a couple characters to level 3, I am no longer actually buying any of these 5,000 ion offers. The main logic behind that is going to be, 5,000 ions is actually enough to take a character to ISO 8 level 2. At ISO 8 level 3, it's 15,000. So really, this is not a good buy for me anymore. As I am leveling them up, I'm starting to get short on ions, and, that is with this little baby roster that I have, and that is only with, let's see, we've got eight. So only with 11 characters at ISO 8 level 3, I'm already kind of, feeling the constraints of that gear. So I am no longer actually buying the anything from the Isotope store, just because, like I said, those 5,000 ions could certainly be used better places. Another thing that I, want to keep you aware of as you are getting the free ISO 8 campaign energy refreshes, you should be getting 60 a day. You get 30 from doing your arena, which I have not started yet. And then the other 30 you get, I believe it's from the villains campaign. So, I think it's what, 2 days or every few days, you should be able to probably do at least two refreshes, but you should be doing at least one refresh a day. Now that I have a good chunk of the characters that I really like at ISO 8 level 3, what I'm doing now is I'm going into my roster and I'm really just adding ISO 8 to all of my characters. And, once that is done, I am then going in and I will then start working on additional teams to take to ISO 8 level 2. Um, and, I think at that point, depending on my roster, I might start looking at taking teams to ISO 8 level 4 or 5. But for right now, I think 3 is a nice stopping point for this particular account. And just one other kind of cool little feature that I did discover that I don't know if it's been talked about all that much. And let me see if I can find a character that it would apply to. So we'll look here at our aim assaulter, and hypothetically, um, if I was going to, let's do someone else. Let's look at Hulk real fast. All right. Yeah, neither of these characters work for me. But basically, so here's the generic concept that I was kind of going with. As you are getting those isotope level 3 gears, and if I did have one piece of this gear here, and if I was to just straight up equip it, I would actually get back this isotope level 2 piece of gear that I could then equip to another character. This only applies if you're actually just straight equipping it. If I were to fuse it, I would lose this level 2 gear and it just becomes a straight level 3. But let me see if I can find a character that would actually apply on that I'm not gonna, regret wasting it. Let's see. Um, so let's look at Colossus. All right, so Colossus. Okay, so right here you see he has got an ISO 8 or an isotope level 3 gear right here, and he currently has a level 1 equipped. And if you look over here, I only have one level 1 currently. And if I equip this, which I'm going to do it eventually, I will build up an X-Men team, so not really a waste here. But if I were to equip that, you'll notice it goes up to 3, but I now have 2 of the thing that I previously had 1. So that is one slight benefit to doing an equip versus a fuse. The equip does get you the previous resource back, which you could then use on another character. So that's just kind of another thing that I think has kind of popped up that I don't know that that's really been talked about. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of where I am. I, would recommend once you do start learning the system and you have a team composition built up that you like, at that point, certainly start exploring going into ISO 8 level 2, level 3. At that point, I wouldn't go too much further, just because by, taking a team to ISO 8 level 4 or 5 is a really good investment of resources, and chances are any character that you're using really for arena right now probably won't be close to your end game arena team. With raid teams, Ultima 6, you can kind of take in any team and still kind of get through it. Whereas Ultima 7, you really do need kind of specialized teams. So I wouldn't invest too much in your raid team quite yet. Um, any top tier teams that you know are going to be, either meta or really good, you can certainly invest in. But right now, I think I'm kind of going more that jack of all trades and just trying to really grow out my roster. So I am kind of going in here and I will basically get all the characters that don't have ISO 8 yet up to at least level 1, just because it doesn't really take many resources. And then from there, I will kind of reevaluate my roster and think about which characters I can take to ISO 8 level 2 or 3. And, hopefully at that point, I will have some more end game characters that I would be looking to take to ISO 8 level 4 and higher. So that is just kind of my expanded ISO 8 video. Just kind of I know everyone's getting all of these isotope level 3 items and is kind of looking to use them. So those would be kind of my suggestions. Arena team, raid team, and any team you're planning on taking into Dark Dimension 1 or Dark Dimension 2, certainly a prime candidate for ISO 8 level 3. And if y'all have any questions, or if you want to see any more specific ISO 8 character traits, or just see how an ISO 8 team kind of works in combat, feel free to let me know. I'm more than happy to produce that content. As always, thank you for watching. I will be following this up with I think I'm getting close to the 60-day mark, or no, I'm sorry, the little over 40-day mark for the calendar. So look forward to that. Look for that rather. And again, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, as always, feel free to reach out to your alliance leadership. If you want to see anything made specifically, reach out to me on Discord at Khaleesi, in-game mini call, or Dracaris. As always, thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe.